Okay, so Dennis' funeral, cremation has not been done yet. I think it's coming week. But it has been 1 week following the Buddhist tradition. Amma performed the 7-day Dana ceremony in France. And so today, Naomi, Rukmal, and the family came down to our temple to transfer merits to Dennis. So, as I remember her, I see the kids are now big. I think I saw all of you at Naomi Rukmal's house when you came for the service. We had a Dana ceremony. So I had the great joy of meeting all of you. We never thought Dennis would say goodbye to us at this point of her life. It must be very painful for Kevin and the children, Joy, Jake, and Caroline. And also, it must be very difficult time for Naomi and sisters, and it's very painful time for Amma. And I can see Amma is still mourning and crying, shedding tears. Now, before we performed the puja, I saw Amma was crying. And so I can understand why, because there is a strong and deep bond between the mother and the children. So if something happens to a child, it's the mother who feels it first. And I can imagine Amma's sorrow and grief and pain when Dennis got diagnosed with cancer. And of course, when people get diagnosed with cancer, one thing that pops up in the mind, am I going to survive? And of course, there's this fear. And it's obvious all parents try to protect their children, no matter where they live, what they do. They always try to be there for them. And Amma tried her best to be there for Dennis and Kevin and the children, Naomi and other sisters. You tried your best to be there for Dennis. And although she was receiving the best medical treatment in the States, but this is what we call in the teachings of the Buddha, once your karma is over, then you have to say goodbye. So karmic lifespan. So Dennis' karmic lifespan was valid until this age, 53. So when the loved one is no more in our life, that creates a lot of pains, a lot of sadness, and it creates a huge void. And in that void, it gets filled with fear and the grief. So Buddha understood this. That's the very reason why Buddha taught us to establish mindfulness. It's very important for us to keep this teaching in mind. Whenever there is a tragedy, whenever there is a painful situation in life, whenever there are struggles, whenever people get diagnosed with illnesses like cancer, that's the very moment we need to bring mindfulness into action. Now, why? Mindfulness has the power to calm not only our mind, but also to face the difficult situation with the clarity and stability of the mind. So now, that's the very reason why we engage in a series of practices like this. That's why we are getting closer to Dhamma. Now the Dhamma has the power to heal the mental, emotional wounds. The Dhamma has the power to transform our life, or Dhamma has the power to help us go through this transition smoothly and mindfully. So now what is this Dhamma? There's a teaching of the Buddha. If you read the Buddha's first sermon, known as the Dhamma Sutta, the discourse on the turning the wheel of life, in this sutta we find the heart of Buddhist teachings, known as the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path. So this first sermon discourse was delivered to the very first group of 5 ascetics who became enlightened after hearing this teaching. The very first enlightened disciple, Venerable Anya Kondanya, became enlightened, became arhat with this understanding. And this understanding is beautifully uttered in Pali. It is something like this. Yang kinchi samudaya dhamman sabbantang nirodha dhammanti. That means if there is anything that has the nature of arising, all that has the nature of ceasing. So this is the universal truth. This is the reality of the life in this samsara. It's not just us. It's not just the human beings. Everything, even the environment, even the nature, everything goes through this reality. So if there is beginning, there is end. So this is the nature of the cycle of life. That's why Buddha called it the samsara. The entire samsara, entire cycle of life is based on the unpleasant experiences of life. And of course, when a child is born, it brings a lot of joy to us. And we celebrate the birthday of every person. Although we celebrate the birthdays, but we don't like to celebrate the death, and death doesn't bring any joy into our life. So, although we like it or not, as Buddha taught us, once we are born, and we have to go through all the unpleasant events, unpleasant experiences like aging, sickness and death. And the aging, sickness and death bring us a lot of emotional and psychological pains and sufferings. So we can remove this pain from our heart and mind only with the knowledge of Dhamma, with the wisdom eye, wisdom mind. So this Dhamma teaches us that sabbi satta marisanti. Every sentient being will die. All sentient beings die. No matter where we live, what we do, or what kind of position we have, what kind of labels we hold, how powerful we are, how famous we are as human beings. We are going to face this reality one day. So this is the truth. That's why in the last sermon of the Buddha, Mahaparinibbana Sutta, the last advice given to the disciples of the Buddha is that Vayadhamma Sankhara Appamadena Sampadeta. Says, oh my disciples, all the conditioned things are subject to change. Everything is impermanent. Therefore, Appamadena Sampadeta, live your life diligently. So that means we have to live a very meaningful life. I'm very positive. Dennis has been living a very meaningful life, built a family with Kevin, with the three amazing, wonderful children. So these children are her contribution to the society, to the humanity. And not only that, I'm very positive. She has been doing a lot of good karma, and I know, of course, personally, Naomi and Rukma, ever since they came to this country, they have been living closer to the temple in our city. Although now they moved to St. Catherine, that area is closer to St. Catherine. And still they keep coming here. And I remember at Naomi's and Rukma's house when they offered dana to the monks, and all of you were there, and you really enjoyed the spiritual talk I delivered. You all greatly appreciated what I said that day. And you're very enthusiastic about learning the Dhamma more. So those are meaningful things. So now there is nothing else we can do. She is no more. The only thing we can do is to do something good like this in her memory. And so in Buddhist tradition, we do this after the funeral service, after the cremation, we do the 7-day dana ceremony, and then we continue doing the 3-month dana ceremony. Then annually we perform such meritorious deed in the loving memory of the deceased people. So this is the only thing that we all could do now in her memory, doing the good meritorious deeds. And that's the very reason why today all of you came to the temple, and all of you joining us this service virtually from different countries, and we all are doing the meaningful meritorious deed, and we perform Buddha Vandana, veneration to the Buddha. We offer the candles and flowers to the Buddha as puja, and then we have done the chanting of the Karunyametta Sutta, the discourse on the universal goodwill, wishing happiness, wellness, joy, freedom to all sentient beings as a way of practicing loving kindness meditation, wishing wellness to every sentient being in this universe and beyond. So this was a good meritorious deed, Kusala Karma, we all have performed together. So by coming to the temple, you have taken refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, and you also observe the 5 precepts, Panchasila, and we all collectively performed the Buddha Vandana, Buddha Puja, and done the period chanting, and you have listened to this spiritual Dhamma talk. So we engaged in a series of meritorious deeds. We cultivate a lot of merits and wholesome energies. Now let us transfer all these merits to Dennis, who said goodbye to us 1 week ago. Wherever she is, may she receive all these merits. May she have happy home in the samsara. May she gain speedy release from the cycle of life. May she never get or never suffer from an illness like the cancer, any other illnesses. May she gain speediest release from the cycle of life. Eventually, may she attain supreme bliss of Nibbana with these thoughts in mind. Now let us transfer merits by saying this gatha together. Idammi ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idammi ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idammi ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Let us also share the merits with Devas by reciting this gatha together. Ittavata jamhehi sambatam punya sampadam sabbi deva namodantu sabba sampatti siddhiyaya. Ittavata jamhehi sambatam punya sampadam sabbi deva namodantu sabba sampatti siddhiyaya. Ittavata jamhehi sambatam punya sampadam sabbe deva namodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Finally, let us make one more wish with a heart full of gratitude and respect. Today, in loving memory of Dennis, we all performed this memorial service. Beautiful meritorious deeds. We have transferred merits to her with a heart full of gratitude and respect. This is the final wish we are going to make for her. Wherever Dennis is, may she receive all the wholesome energies, all these karmic wholesome energies, and may these karmic wholesome energies help her gain release from the cycle of life. And eventually, may Dennis attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. With these thoughts in mind, say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.